But we begin with Fox team coverage. David Spunt at the White House and Jackie Heinrich in Wilmington, Delaware. Let's start with the latest on the president's post-convention strategy. David.
Chris, as we close in on the 2-month mark until the election, the president is waging war, and it's not just against Joe Biden.
Joe Biden is the puppet of the radical left movement that seeks to obliterate and destroy everything that you hold dear.
In 2020, the race for president is more than just a difference of opinion. Ask President Trump, and it's a fight between good versus evil.
We're not going to let our country be destroyed by a bunch of nut jobs.
The president back on the campaign trail less than 24 hours after giving his acceptance speech on the South Lawn of the White House. At a Friday night rally in New Hampshire, the president blamed Democrats for the violence plaguing U.S. cities.
The puppet Biden wants you to cancel weddings, funerals, and school, but has no problem with thousands of so-called peaceful protesters cramming into your streets, mugging people, hurting people.
It's all about replicating a winning strategy from 2016 when the campaign portrayed the country at risk from immigrants flooding the border. This election, it's about dangerous cities. The president drove that point home on Saturday during an official visit to Texas and Louisiana to tour the aftermath of Hurricane Laura.
The people in Portland should protest because the mayor doesn't know what he's doing. He has no clue.
And happening overnight, more chaos in Portland as a caravan of Black Lives Matter and supporters of the president clashed. One person shot and killed. The president plans to visit Kenosha, Wisconsin on Tuesday, another site of recent unrest. Chris?
David Spunt reporting from the White House. David, thanks. Now let's turn to Jackie Heinrich, who's covering the Biden campaign. Jackie.
Chris, resuming travel to swing states after Labor Day, the Biden campaign continues to make this election about coronavirus and how the Trump administration mishandled it. But simmering turmoil in Kenosha threatens to derail that strategy. Former Vice President Joe Biden is clear about where he stands on police brutality and protests over it.
Once again, a black man, Jacob Blake, has been shot by the police in broad daylight with the whole world watching.
And his running mate stepped even further following progressive criticism over her law enforcement record.
Based on what I've seen, it seems that the officer should be charged.
But as Republicans repeat false claims Biden wants to defund police and warn violence and crime will spread,
you won't be safe in Joe Biden's America.
Biden will need to speak to swing voters in the mostly white, working-class, rural districts President Trump won in 2016, some of whom are in Kenosha, torn apart after protests over the police shooting of Jacob Blake. Biden condemned the violence, accusing Republicans of using unrest for political gain.
To prove that you should be scared of Joe Biden, they're pointing to what's happening in Donald Trump's America.
But he hasn't committed to visiting Kenosha, despite planned visits to 4 swing states, including Wisconsin. Both Biden and Harris spoke to Blake's family.
They were so comforting that you almost forgot how the situation was really playing out.
Biden's campaign said upcoming travel will follow public health guidelines, meaning we should see small roundtables, certainly no rallies, although the drive-in watch party from the DNC could become a model for bigger events. Chris.
Jackie, thank you. Joining us now, Trump campaign senior advisor and daughter-in-law to the president, Lara Trump. Lara.